So, hello and welcome to another episode of Good Fat Life. And I am Sherri Richards, your host for the show today, and always. And I just want to first remind you to check out goodfatlife.com, our magazine. We've got the next one is in view. It's being curated right now, which is really fun and lots of cool things happening. So today, one of the big things that's really important at Good Fat Life is community. And today we kind of had the epitome of community with my guest, Stefanie Furge and Liz Welch. So we're going to talk about the hARTland Art Walk today. And it's a really, really cool event. And so, Stefanie, why don't you start telling us about it?
Yes, so this is going to be the third annual hARTland Art Walk. We started it in 2023, and we like to call it Art Prize hARTland sized, because obviously hARTland is much smaller than Grand Rapids. But we're very excited that it is a community event. There are 4 partners in progress in hARTland. We have Crow District Library, we have the hARTland Area Chamber of Commerce, hARTland Consolidated Schools, and hARTland Township, and we decided to come together to bring an event to hARTland, and the Art Walk is that product. And it's 2 weeks of art. It is a competition. Art is on display, and we have 3 weekends worth of activities to go along with it.
And I love that you brought. It's not just like the chamber doing something, right?
Yes,
it's all of the communities, associations or organizations in hARTland that gathered. And There's so much energy around that, right?
Oh, for sure.
So let's talk about the art first, right? The art prize. So you want to talk about that too?
Yes. So we actually have 2 categories of competition. We have an open category, and that is open to any artist in the state of Michigan, any age, and they did have to pay an entry fee for that. And this year we have about 20 entries for that category. And then because of our partnership, we have a second category, and that is for any hARTland Consolidated Schools student that completed K through 12 in May. We always go with the previous school year because the Art Walk falls during the start of a new school year and gets kind of crazy. And we have cash prizes for both of those categories.
Oh, and I've been at those events, when those awards are made.
Yes.
And it's a tough decision,
Oh.
right? It's tough. And it's just like, it just kind of like takes your breath away to see how much talent is out there, right?
Yes, and it is very difficult every year. I feel for our judges, especially for the hARTland Consolidated Schools category. It's very tough. I mean, how do you pick one second grader over another, because all of their artwork is amazing. And the exciting thing for us is going into year 3 is we have students that this is now their 3rd year. They've submitted. They get so excited. They're planning their projects months in advance. And we've heard multiple stories from families about the students have saved this money. They're saving towards, new art supplies or maybe a new lens for a camera. So it's very exciting for us.
It is. And then one of the other things that's so cool is that the art is distributed at the businesses around hARTland. And so there's a list and you get to go see that. So when you go to your favorite restaurant or coffee shop, you get to see the art on display for a couple of weeks, right? And it's just like, it just feels community.
Yes.
Right? And that's kind of another part of it is like, it's that community thing. It's like, oh my gosh, look at what these kids are doing. Or other people, right?
Yeah.
Or the open people too. So, I've been to places that I wouldn't have gone to support the business that's supporting the art. And to see the art, right?
Yes. That is the walk component of Art Walk. We have art displayed in Settlers Park in hARTland, and you can walk the path there or run and see the art there. We have several things that we print on banners. We don't put any original artwork out in the rain and the elements, but we have it put on banners. And then you can go all around the community to different businesses and restaurants and see the other pieces
of the art. So that's one component,
yes.
Right? So Liz, tell us about the other component, another piece, because there's lots of pieces.
So we have a kickoff on the 20th of September, and we have a wrap up October 4th.
Yes.
Is that correct? But in the middle weekend, it's kind of the area that I've been working hard on. We have a celebration of the history of weaving in hARTland. I think people from the community really know about, we have a centennial era library, and we have a 167-year-old music hall. But when you drive down through the vintage village of Heartland, which many people do not even know exists, in addition to those two historical kind of kingpins in that area, there are a lot of other buildings that harken back to a time when Heartland was actually one of the weaving capitals of the United States. And I don't think people know about that. So in the middle weekend, we're doing an event called Spinning Yarns. It's a fiber arts and weaving celebration. It's going to kick off with the unveiling of a video about that history, just a short video kind of walking you through from the very beginning of that weaving history right up until today, and its implications on crafters and fiber artists in modern times. And then we're going to allow people to participate in a collaborative weaving project. We're going to let them hear a song performed that was actually written in this 30s
That
and
is so
40s
cool,
era,
right?
which I'm so excited about. Some of our very gifted local choir teachers and some of their friends and students came in to record that in the music hall. And then the big piece is, so we talk about every year as a part of Heartland Art Walk, we have these big public art pieces that we want to bring to the community that will live here permanently. So this year's art piece is a woven textile being created by a pair of local fiber artists. And the Friends of Crow Main District Library paid for that work to be commissioned. So we're super excited to unveil it at that event, which will be at the Music Hall from 12 to 1 on September 27th. But then the other piece is that after that event ends and people disperse, there's kind of two other cool things happening. They can go down to the Florence B. Deering Museum that's put on by the Heartland Historical Society and see a curated weaving collection that they've been putting together. And then they can go down to the library, and a group called the Black Sheep Weavers Guild, which has been around forever, people who've kind of carried that tradition into modern times, they're going to be demonstrating some of their fiber arts on the first floor of the library. And then up on the second floor of the library, people can go ahead and do some hand weaving and some miniature loom weaving so they can kind of really experience that fiber art vibe on that day. And it'll be perfect for kids and for adults.
That is so cool. And I'm a fiber artist. And when you first brought up that Heartland had this kind of a history, it was like, oh my gosh. Well, and in fairness, I'm not from Heartland, but it was like I could hardly talk. It was just so cool to have that kind of history. And then you start talking, as you said, you start talking to people, and people are like, oh yeah, my mom did this or my grandma did this. And apparently it was quite the thing. Weaving lessons was a real thing, and Heartland was known nationally for, as you said, for their craft.
Yeah, actually, in working with, well, for one, I should just acknowledge that there are some beautiful books on Heartland history that are in the library available to be looked at by some folks that came before in the Historical Society that kind of got us started on this journey. But then for myself, I was just kind of very interested in reading all this, like, who are the people now who still know any part of this? And so a team of our folks from the library worked on a video that we produced that we'll be showing. And in doing that, we were like hitting the historical facts, but then we started having an opportunity to talk to people from this community. We sat down with the grandsons of Martina Lindahl, who was brought over from another country to be a weaving instructor, and John Robert Krause, the man who started the library. He was bringing experts from everywhere in to teach people about arts and culture. And so chatting with the grandsons of that woman, that was a really interesting perspective. And then we got a chance to talk to Phil and Bob McBride, who are the grandsons of the man who basically started our library and got the music hall going. So just to hear their recollections of this person who is really a visionary, and to hear, kind of like, what does that look like in modern times? It was really cool. And then we just had people popping up out of the woodwork talking about, my mother learned to weave in Heartland, my grandmother took classes, and then people brought us textiles and
you brought
artifacts.
something.
Yeah, I brought, this is really cool. This was an artifact that was woven in the 30s and 40s era, and it is loom woven, not hand woven, I should say. But you really can, when you look at a piece of fabric, it's very easy to just not think about that fabric other than how does it look in the piece of clothing. But speaking to all these folks has really made me look at woven goods like I never have before, and to think about somebody learned this art. they were just spinning in their home, or, they went to the Krause Crafts or to Lindahl's Loom Shop, and someone taught them this, and it's a complex art. It's glorious intricacy. And I just will never look at a woven good the same way again after this. And we just even had folks who brought us textiles that they put away and tucked away that are just literally from the 30s and 40s. They're these artifacts of that time, perfectly preserved, and just they mean so much to look at and be able to touch and talk about.
And there's so much community around it, right?
Yes.
It's like a huge community. So very cool. Very cool. So there's other things going on too, aren't there? I know there's some yoga.
Yes, there are. So, of course, we said our opening weekend is September 20th, and that is from 1 to 4 p.m. at Settlers Park in hARTland. And at that, we will have all kinds of things happening. Like I said, we will have the art displays in the park. We have a chalk art demonstration happening at 1 o'clock if anybody wants to come see that. We will have Kona Ice there for treats. We will have vendors there with their items for sale. Crow Main Library will be there.
I've bought some pretty cool stuff at the vendor.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so there will be something for everyone. We are going to have a ton of hands-on crafting opportunities this year for all ages, not just for kids. So any age that wants to come try their hand in a couple of little crafts can do that. And again, 1 to 4 on September 20th. And then, of course, Liz was just talking about the middle weekend, full of that weaving history. And then we are also doing, a stretch and sketch. We started this last year at Planet Fitness, and that will be Saturday, September 27th at 9 a.m.
I know the Livingston Women's Choir will be singing because I'm a member of the choir, right? And so that's really cool. They'll be there in the afternoon at the music hall.
Yes.
Which is really a fun place to go if you've never been there before, too. So.
Yeah. And then the wrap-up event, of course, which is the one that we all leave smiling ear to ear, is our closing day where we present the awards to our winners. And we always have the hARTland High School Marching Band come and perform for us because it's just fun. It gets everybody in a really good mood. And then we give those awards out. And that is on Saturday, October 4th at noon at Settlers Park.
Okay. All right. So, oh my gosh, this is quite an event, right?
Yes.
And it's a little bit, I love that there's something for everybody, all ages. And that's a really fun thing to see too, is when you go to something and you see little kids and you see their grandparents or just independent, just families with kids and older people there, just everybody's having a great time.
Absolutely. That is the thing that we have noticed the last 2 years is it truly is all ages. And we see grandparents, parents, kids. We see retired people come on their own. They don't have children with them. It is something that every age can enjoy. And like I said, it's very exciting to see the kids get excited about creating art. And Liz, maybe you want to mention too, so the history, I know a lot of people don't know the history of weaving in hARTland. It's more than just people were weavers in hARTland. Maybe talk a little bit about the Lindahl Loom and Krause Crafts.
So one of the interesting things about the co-founder of the library, John Robert Krause, is that he grew up in hARTland, moved to the Ohio area with his father and his uncles, and they were in the electrical business and some of the very early portions of the electrical business. So when he moved back to hARTland, he invested in the community. He wanted to bring in artists. He wanted to bring in culture. He wanted to bring in technology. They were doing experimental things at the farm to try to raise the whole community up. And even when he kind of retrofitted the hARTland Music Hall with a Kilgan organ and modern electricity, that was state of the art at that time. And at a time when some people didn't even have electricity in their homes, there was this world-class music hall in their community where they could go and see performances. So that's a really special part of the hARTland Music Hall and ties all these different elements together in the hARTland area.
And didn't he go to other countries to bring in weavers that had expertise?
Yeah, so one of the weavers he brought over was from Sweden, and one of the weavers was from Pennsylvania, but they were like world-class at their art, and he used to go on trips to different countries, and he would bring back woven goods to try to inspire not only the instructors, but all of the students. So it was a collaborative art community that he started, and that was just one of multiple different facets of his hARTland area project, where he envisioned just taking his he took his money and he turned it into social good. He turned it into community. And he had a vision for this continuing. And in fact, there are still grant funds available today from a fund he established all that long time ago, because he had the vision of, people will come to the table together and work together. If they work together, everything's better. And that still exists in the Partners in Progress. So, and in some of the funds that are available to local community organizations. So it really is, it's a stellar vision that he had. And so when he was in Ohio and made his money in the electrical business, that business eventually sold and become like an iteration of General Electric, GE. So, I would say he was the Andrew Carnegie of Heartland, Michigan.
Yes.
Wow. It's like, who knew?
Yeah.
That's fascinating. Thank you for sharing that, Liz. One of the things at Good Fat Life that's really important to us is that idea of having an idea, right? And then manifesting it and going through the steps. And it's a process. Everything's a process, right? So as you're talking about this gentleman who had an idea, and look at how it spread. 50 years later? No,
more than that.
More than that. So
over 100.
Over 100 years later, and it's still reverberating out into the community, and then the idea of the Heartland Art Walk again was an idea, right? And here we are into year 3, and it's just grown so much, and that it's going to be around years and years and years because of how much people enjoy it and what it brings to the community. And one of the other things that's so cool is the work. Every year there's a permanent piece,
yes.
right? And so there's a history here.
Yes.
So maybe 100 years from now, you can walk through, well, we did this. And so do you want to talk about those, Stefanie?
Yeah, I do, because I know that Liz mentioned that this year's piece is going to be the woven piece that will be home. But we actually started in 2023. We had 2 permanent pieces commissioned. We had what is called the Eagle Wing Mural, and that was a Heartland School student at the time, Brianna Zaborowski, created that. And it is a set of eagle wings at our auxiliary stadium at our middle school. And it is fantastic. You can stand there and get your photo with the eagle wings. And then we also had the Heart of Heartland sculpture commissioned, which is in Settlers Park. And the cool thing about that piece is it is interactive. Children can actually get up in the palm of the hand and sit. You can take photos of your children in it. And it was created by Darren and Deanna Baker. And it's just become already in 2 years an iconic piece in Heartland that people will see and say, that is Heartland. And last year's piece, we had the Village Welcome Mural commissioned by Susan Pominville Art. And that is right in the village of Heartland.
They're all cool.
Yeah, it is off of beautiful. Avon Street. Sometimes Heartland Road, Avon Street, they go by both names there. And we encourage people to go see that. And Susan integrated so many aspects of Heartland and the culture and the community into that piece. It's fun to stand there and look at it and find, like we call them, the little hidden Heartland Easter eggs. So
really, I want to add too, I go walking with our Romaine Walking and Run Club on Mondays during the season, and it is a delight for me to have been involved in placing that art in my small way, and then to just walk past kids just having the time of their life, crawling all over that thing. Mm-hmm. And it's really, I drive past the Village Welcome every morning on my way to work, and it is heartwarming to just see art on the walls where it used to just be like a pretty plain facade. Mm-hmm. And it perks me up every morning when I see it, just to know that that's a small little drop that we get to have in the legacy of arts and culture in Heartland.
So yes, absolutely, right? Because art brings so much to a community, right? And the way that it's been designed and that you're doing it is, it's so layered. You've got all ages, all talents, all reasons to come. There's music and there's some live theater, I think, and then the art, and so I love that it's not just one dimensional, right? It's a little bit something for everybody.
Definitely, it's a family friendly event. almost everything is free. I don't want to say everything is free, but for the most part, you can bring the family. You can do all of these different events, explore the art, have fun. Knock on wood, we've had 2 tremendous years of weather on that opening weekend, so we're hoping to continue that for a 3rd year. It's just a beautiful time of year to be outside and enjoying it.
Oh, there's nothing like fall in
Yes.
in Michigan. It's gorgeous. So, well, thank you so much for being here and sharing your story and all that you're doing. And thank you for doing that and having those visions because you're having the vision too, right?
Yes. Thank you so much, Sherri, for having us to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well, good.
It's been a pleasure to be here.
Well, good. So, on that happy note, I would just invite you to check out Good Fat Life again and check out hARTland Art Walk. And we will have all the socials on where you can find the information at the bottom of the episode. So, on that happy note, go out and live your good fat life.